Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series here on the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel. And we are on the 20th of April, 1985, here in World Class Land. Lots of good stuff here. Lots of first run stuff, a couple of returns, good stuff in general. We open with the one man gang with Gary Hart versus Terry Daniels. Obviously, not a major challenge for the gang in Daniels. His major challenge comes in a couple of weeks at the Texas Stadium show, the second David Von Erich Memorial program. But ultimately, this is a squash match as is to be expected. Really basic stuff, punches, kicks by the gang. Gang really doesn't do a heck of a lot. Gary Hart still happy with his investment, as is to be expected. And ultimately, we kind of see a attempted crossbody by Daniels. Gang sends him to the outside. Also manages to use the ringside table and carries him all the way around before placing him actually not on the table but into the ring post with a backbreaker. Gang is super powerful, or at least made to look that way, so Terry Daniels is a big part of that. But in any event, hard forearms by the gang, but gang also one of those guys who makes it look like he's beating the heck out of you, but at the same time has a lot of power, has a lot of connection there, and sends the gang sends Daniels into the steel post. The referee comes back in, and gang hits a splash, and we're off to the races as far as a victory. Also a diving forearm by the gang, and gang is victorious here in the area, and that is what he's about, So he's gonna move forward to the next little while. The American Tag Team title announcement is up next. It is announced that the Fantastics and the Von Erichs will fight, in fact, at the next Texas Stadium show. The Fantastics will have Big Bad John at ringside. Big Bad John, a country boy about 7 feet tall, and ultimately is a guy who, at the end of the day, is an add-on. That's the only way Jim Cornette's going to be allowed to be at ringside, is the involvement of Big Bad John, as Cornette has spent several months interfering in Midnight Express matches. Cornette thinks John's no big deal, but that's until he finds out what John's about and who John is. And then we move to another interview. The Freebirds discuss teaming with the Von Erichs as part of the 12-man two-ring battle royal concept. Freebird said if they need another team to team with, then who better than the second best team in the area, the Von Erichs. They do not say they are friends with the Von Erichs. I assume that they're only coming back for the stadium show, although I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't remember much of the Freebirds in 85, but the Freebirds are back here on television. This week facing Ed Thomas and Thor. Thor, a bigger blonde gentleman who is useful there. Buddy Roberts kind of in suit attire. So your Freebirds in this way are none other than Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy, probably the most two prominent Freebirds. Gordy last here quite a while back with his issues with Killer Khan, match with Ric Flair. So Gordy going to get a certain level of excitement from the fans, I would think. Hayes starts the match, and Hayes and Thor, a bit of a challenge. Hayes does manage to get, some powers. Michael Hayes still, even after not seeing him for a while, had so much poise, so much power. Amazing to me that by 1985, late 85, early 86. He's more of a broadcast guy in the UWF than he is a wrestler. That just doesn't sit well with me. But Hayes takes the majority of the match here, and ultimately things go in a more brawling direction when Gordy gets back in there. And high knee by Gordy, followed by a missed elbow by Thor. Still not understanding where the Thor name's coming from, unless they plan to push the guy and then don't, or maybe they do, and I just don't know anything about the character. Anyway, cut off by Thor. We don't really see much of Thomas in the match. Thor seems to take the majority of it. Thomas, African American gentleman who doesn't. I think he's been here a time or two before. Double clothesline by the Freebirds, and then the Adriatic Spike by Gordy will finish things off. And Thor's the one that gets to be the victim of that. Then we go to our main event: Gino Hernandez, Kevin Von Erich. It seems like Hernandez and Von Erich, or Adams and Von Erich, seems to be the program of the last year, and that continues here. They're given about 9 minutes or so. Hernandez still aligned with Chris Adams, the dynamic duo, and Von Erich is a guy who always tries to keep things more towards the mat. Also tries to emphasize the claw and the body hold. We see him fight for the claw for the first several minutes of the match. Adams tries to get involved. Obviously, Kevin a bit outnumbered, but that doesn't seem to bother Hernandez or Adams. Adams obviously is still bitter over his perceived slight at the hands of the Von Erichs. Kevin makes his way into the corner and hits quite a few strikes, and then we kind of see the shot there, and with a couple minutes left. This is kind of a more slower paced match, so maybe they were trying to save something for the stadium show. I don't really know, but the double kickoff by Kevin, and then the use of the turnbuckle, leading to Kevin coming off the other area with a diving sledgehammer, and ultimately short knee by Hernandez, and then so we do see kind of a high cross body with the roll up with the win for Von Erich as we close on the 20th of April here in 1985 here in World Class. We'll be back with more action right after this.